Jeez.
No, it's that we still got a couple months. Don't try to make it November any sooner than it has to be, Eric.
Yeah, but I hate this last couple of weeks of August. It's awful hot.
Yeah,
I don't know. We might be live now. I don't know. I closed the window so I can't see.
Oh,
If so, hi. Welcome to On the Stick After Dark. If we're
I can
streaming,
see, and
I'm
we
Eric.
we are streaming. We are.
All right. Well,
Ooh,
And
increased.
here are our hosts,
spotlight
Stream and
ability.
Steven.
I'm streaming here with Mike, who just got
Hi.
here. Hi, Mike.
Just a very exciting time to be here. Hello.
And Joe.
Yeah, I'm here. We're streaming. I don't know. Am I streaming with you if I'm not in the room with you? I don't know. I'm never sure.
Do you guys understand the default text language, or should I put it in English? Also, a birdless
Default
Kurt.
looks right to me.
A birdless Kurt is also here. So,
I am without bird.
how do you feel about the default language versus the English language?
I think default and is fine.
Okay. I wonder if
It's time to
English
find out what
is-
your operating set's to run to, Eric.
Is that like British English or?
No, it must be that if you have your operating set to run in a different language, it'll
maybe
automatically select
That
that.
is what it is. Yes,
Jeez,
that is what it is.
Welcome to the world. It's a big
Whoa.
place with lots of different kinds of people.
Larger subtitles.
Yeah, some of them even speak French.
Well, I can't recommend that.
Localized
can do it.
navigation sign UI. I don't know what that is, but that's cool. I love games that have lots of
Accessibility options.
Yeah.
It's me again, Rasputin Aquata.
Yeah.
I know I write a lot.
So this is
There's actually
Psychonauts
an
2.
interesting wording at the beginning of this too.
Yeah.
This one's
For
Well, it looks
to-
like
to
it
a few
starts right
reasons.
with a. It doesn't kick to a menu. It just goes.
It will
to this
once
little
you
thing.
get through the intro thing, which basically recaps Psychonauts and Rhombus of Ruin. Then it'll say, push any key, and when you do that, then it'll give you the thing. I
Okay.
think.
All right. So here's my question.
Yeah.
What happened in Psychonauts? Because I played that game like 15 years ago.
Right.
So
You went into a milkman's brain at one point.
One of the tags for this
Best
video is I am the milkman, my milk is delicious. So
Okay.
feces.
Yeah, I played Psychonauts when it was like new-ish. So yeah, that's about 15 years ago, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So I played Psychonauts when it was new, and then I played it again last year before,
I remember that.
Um,
Yeah.
and I played Rhombus of Ruin as well.
Oh, I forgot that was a thing that existed.
Yeah,
What? Wait, I don't. What?
it's a VR only.
Oh, it's the VR thing. Okay.
Yeah. And I actually talked to my Tim Schafer at E3 after the game came out and pointed out a bug, which kind of made him crazy.
We talked to Tim Schafer at PAX East one year and threatened to wrestle him in a cage match over the Action Cast because Double
Nice.
Fine. Double Fine,
Oh,
had,
right. I
the
remember
Double
that.
Fine
Yeah.
Action Cast was their
Right.
podcast after we started the Action Cast, and we talked to him for a minute, and I told him that I was challenging him to a cage match, and I think he just said that he forfeited. And then he took a picture of my tattoo of Ben from Full Throttle, and that was like the.
He was a good sport about it. I've
He's a really
talked to him a
nice
few
guy.
times at various PAXs and.
You get like a
he
little
was-
video of you talking to him, except that it was packed show floor, so you couldn't hear anything.
It's
I believe
possible.
so.
We did
There's a
do
couple
that
of
one year,
those.
yeah.
We did do that one year. Yeah. There's one of Shane. Me
Shane
talking to Shane
Bettenhausen.
Bettenhausen.
There was a couple other people, yeah.
We actually spent a whole bunch more time talking. What's his name? The guy that did Trenched.
Oh yeah,
Brad.
Brad.
Meir?
Yeah,
Brad Meir,
Brad.
yeah.
Is it Mir?
I think so, yeah.
You're right.
Because he's not with Double Fine anymore.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
No, he's at Valve.
Yes. Yeah, Brad Meir is awesome because he was on a
Yeah.
lot of Giant Bomb stuff too. He's
Yeah.
like,
Fun dude.
yeah.
Agent 9 has an idea how to get the
That's
But
one of the
anyway-
few things I miss about PAX. It's maybe the
Yeah.
only thing, really.
Yeah, probably the only thing.
You don't miss like playing old ass video games in the old ass video game room
I
until
mean,
like 2
we
in the
do
morning.
that, but we just do it at like
We don't need to go to
Yeah.
Boston to do that anymore.
Right.
That's true.
The upside is we can get access to things we don't have.
Right.
Better get my head in the right
Although these days it's pretty easy to have access to everything
To everything, yeah.
with emulators and misters and.
This afternoon, I just wrapped up getting the last few porno games I needed for my 3DO
Oh, thank
you.
off
Needed.
of archive. That well,
I need
needed.
these. I need,
Bill
I
has
need
needs,
something.
Kurt.
I need them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to see how low the bottom of the barrel is.
A
for
man
Vivid
has
Interactive.
needs.
Everybody needs the Buckaroo.
Vivid Interactive's what is it? There's a puzzle game where you uncover like animated gifs of pornography. It's very similar, I think, to the one where what's the Kicks clone where you uncover naked ladies that was
Lexi
popular in
Kicks?
Japan. No, it's something. No,
That's,
no.
I don't know if that's
Erotic
really good.
kicks.
that
It should
Gal
be
Panic?
called that.
Gals Panic. Yes, Gals Panic. That's right, Mike.
Dixie
it seems
Kicks
like-
would be like a cowboy
It's a
theme,
country
right?
music,
Like girls
yeah,
dressed
right,
up as
yeah.
cowgirls. Yeah. Anyway.
To answer your question,
Oh yeah, Psychonauts.
a kid who desperately wants to be a psychonaut goes to a summer camp, and there's someone
Runs
that
away
is
from
running
the
around.
circus.
grand head of
So, yeah, runs away from the circus. Grows up with a family that runs the circus. Goes away to summer camp for psychic children. Oops. And it turns out someone is sucking the brains out of the children, and this is bad, of course. And he goes off on a quest to figure out what happens, and in doing so enters the minds of various people and helps them with their issues and saves the day, culminating in the worst level of video game maybe ever.
Yeah, the meat circus.
Includes one of the best levels in a video game ever, and also one of the worst.
Yeah.
I can't remember. So I played that game on the PC, and when I played it, my PC was a lot more powerful than like an original Xbox at the time, because I remember the game ran at a way higher resolution than the cutscenes did, which was kind of really funny. And Meat Circus was bad, but not awful. Was like performance one of the reasons why it was considered so bad?
It's possible.
It's mostly camera
Okay.
and a little bit of controls in relation to the camera. I think is generally the. I didn't get to the Meat Circus when I replayed it.
Meat Circus gets to you.
I got distracted by other things, but I did play the Milkman Conspiracy, which is still fucking great.
Okay. I was trying to remember what. So there's those two. There's
There's one where you're
the
inside the
Spain
brain of a
right?
the brain of a
bullfighter.
Toreador.
Yeah.
Bullfighter.
Oh yeah, that one's intense. That's like some real high contrast.
Yeah, it's like a black velvet painting.
Yes. Yeah.
In motion, and there's a
There's
a
general
bull that
guy,
is
right?
going bananas rampaging through the town. So you have to jump out into the street and then get out of the street before the bull comes by and demolishes you. Yeah, there's a general. There's a French inspired sort of board game battle one.
I don't remember that one.
No,
There's
I
a
don't
kaiju
remember
attack.
that.
So
There's a kaiju attack. Yeah, that's Lungfishopolis, where you go inside the brain of a lungfish and fight a kaiju-ish type thing. It's sort of inspired by like Ultraman, in which the boss announces every one of his attacks in a very humorous way. What else is there? You go inside two of the agents' minds. Agent 9, who is very analytical, and that one is you end up roaming around on a giant cube, and each side of the
Oh,
cube
right,
has stuff that pops
yeah.
out of it.
That's right. Oh man,
and
I
then-
like that level a lot.
Yeah, that's a good one. And Agent Nia, who's a more gregarious, less analytical than Agent 9. And that one's like a dance party.
Oh right, I don't remember that one hardly at all. Except
You do a lot of rolling around on the psychic ball and bouncing around and stuff in that
Yeah.
one.
It's mostly what I remember from that game is rolling around on the psychic ball.
Yeah, a lot of floating and rolling around on the psychic ball. Fighting sensors.
What? This guy was the bad guy from the last game, right?
I'm not actually looking. Hold on.
I mean, honestly, what I remember from the first game was that it had incredible writing, and the game was completely forgettable aside from the incredible writing.
Well, not just the writing, but the art, right? The aesthetic of it.
It has a very distinct aesthetic.
It was an extremely average 3D platformer with good art and a great
I
story.
don't know. I mean, I feel like maybe the platforming itself was average, but because of the aesthetic and because of the level design, like those things carried it. Like
the powers that you had and stuff like that made it enjoyable to bounce around in.
Right.
And
most of the levels were pretty short.
Yeah.
So you
You
didn't-
said
Let's just say that opinions vary.
but there was a lot of stuff to collect, and
So you were asking if this guy was the bad guy in the first level. You mean the guy with the weird eye?
yeah,
Yeah, he's the bad guy from Rhombus of Ruin. So he kidnapped Lily, who was Raz's girlfriend, from the first game. They weren't boyfriend girlfriend in the first game, but he was sweet on her. He kidnapped Lily's father, who is in charge of the Psychonauts. And in Rhombus of Ruin, you rescue his father, her father. And now you're trying to figure out who was behind, who put him up to it is the conceit of this game, or at least the beginning of this game.
So this is a Game Pass joint?
yes.
Yeah. Because Double Fine's
Because
owned by
Microsoft, scooped up Double Fine a few years ago.
Bill Gates presents Psychonauts 2.
Because this game was supposed to be out quite a while ago, and then after they got bought by Microsoft, they were like, actually, we've got all this extra money, so we're gonna keep making this game for a while.
Yeah, we're gonna actually polish it.
I think they also added a bunch of content that they were planning on cutting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks really nice.
Yeah, it does.
The-
Yeah, I'm glad that they didn't try and pitch the whole aesthetic from the previous games in favor of something more
Yeah.
regular.
Yes, the character designs are just like super high res versions of.
Yeah.
Hey, you're not supposed to walk that way. Posters.
Oh no, it's Control 2.
Except it's not playing the
Yeah.
shit, I can't remember the name of that band.
The something of the old gods.
Yeah.
Norsemen of the old gods.
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, really, the scientist in that game felt like something out of a Double Fine game.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, Dr.
100%.
Darling?
Yeah.
Dr. Darling.
Yeah.
Man, the song that Dr. Darling sings to you is
Yes.
legitimately maybe it's the ashtray maze and then that. Those are the two best things in the game.
The highlights.
Yeah.
You might say it's dynamite.
Yeah, exactly.
So, a lot of announcements coming out of Gamescom, which I feel like that happens sometimes, but it feels like bigger deal stuff this year so far than...
We have to talk about why I'm sad today.
Well, we can, yeah. I was actually going to go to why I think Eric might be happy, but if you want to talk about why you're sad,
I
we
haven't
can do that
seen
too.
any of this stuff, so
This new Saints Row is happening.
I'm
so
not sure I need that.
I loved Saints Row 3.
Saints Row 4 was alright.
Saints Row 4 was exactly. It was all right, and I never finished it. I know it ends up in a crazy time travel thing by the time you get to the end of it. And
Oh,
it's
has
sort
it?
of-
I got to the virtual reality.
Problem
where
is,
I
it starts.
Yeah.
Right,
Saints
yeah.
Row 3 is a
You're the
continual
president,
escalation,
and
and then Saints Row 4 just continues from there and keeps going.
it goes almost too
Yeah.
Saints Row 4 goes almost too far.
I wouldn't have thought possible, but I agree.
Yeah.
It seems like this one they're kind of scaling it back to at least Saints Row 3 levels.
Right.
Well,
That was the fun thing about Saints Row 3 was it started out as just like a normal kind of goofy kind of heist thing, and then it just continually escalated as you went through it. And then when you started 4, it was just like it started out at 10 and then kind of tried to crank it up from there. But
Hit it to 11.5 by the
right,
time it was done.
couldn't. Yeah, it just couldn't escalate in the same way. So
But this is a fresh start. It's not a remake of the first Saints Row. It's just a new continuity, I
right,
guess.
new characters, new right,
New
no
boss.
Sean
really
Lee
there's-
or
There's
It's all new row.
Johnny
Where else are
Gat
you gonna go
or
with those
whatever.
characters? Yeah.
Yeah, there's nowhere else you can go with
Johnny
that
Gat,
boss.
Sean D, and
Yeah, Pierce and all those guys.
yeah.
Which I like those. I don't. But then see that that
Who's
studio.
the pimp who always speaks in autotune?
I don't know. I don't
Can't
remember.
remember his name, but
Yeah. So, but that studio put out Agents of Mayhem.
That
Which-
game was not good.
That
I
game
heard.
was not very well. I never played it, so I don't know for sure.
Yeah,
But I didn't
me neither.
hear anybody say anything positive about it, and it was like a
Yeah.
thing that they were setting up to kind of be like the new like Saints Row franchise, and it was such a dismal failure that that never happened. So I'm not gonna get my hopes too far up.
Yeah,
like-
I was emphatically warned away from Agents of Mayhem.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say about that.
It's one of those things where like Saints Row 1 and 2 didn't really appeal to me at all, and Saints Row 3 was like an amazing experience, and then like 4 was like pretty fun as a continuation of 3, and then they put out that other game, but it's just like that studio's track record is really just that one.
I mean, 4 might still be the second best Crackdown game.
I mean, fair enough, I guess.
Although I still haven't played Crackdown 3, even though I heard some people like defend it sort of after the fact, saying like, no, like everybody acted like they hated it, but it's actually like pretty fun. I don't know. That's probably on Game Pass, right? You could probably play.
Oh yeah,
it is, and
Microsoft
it's
Studios
great.
game.
it's funnish.
I think generally I heard that it was like quite a bit better than the second one.
It's way better
Well,
than the
this,
second one.
that's a
It's not
low
saying
fucking
much.
bar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's
But and also that it was just like a thing like to play on because it was on Game Pass. It was like if you have Game Pass, it's worth checking out. But otherwise,
I mean, you do have Game Pass.
I do.
Gary
but,
Cruz got a paycheck, so I'm okay with that.
right, I don't
Alright.
have strong feelings about any of the Crackdown stuff. So
Crackdown 2 was fun until you started getting to missions where they made you use your gun. And then I was like, fuck this.
boy,
like,
this sure is Psychonauts. Like right down to the,
Yeah,
like, all this stuff is
100%.
exactly the
It
same.
looks exactly like how I remember the first game.
But the thing that makes Mike sad is that the team at Firaxis that did XCOM and XCOM 2,
Oh yeah,
as was rumored before E3, like they were saying it was going to be announced at E3, but it was announced at Gamescom, is that team is working on a Marvel. I guess it's a team up game, so technically it's an Avengers game because it's a team of famous Marvel
Well, it's
characters.
just all Marvel,
all
right?
that.
It's like a combination of some Avengers and some of the weirder Marvel characters, you know, and Ghost Rider and stuff like that.
I mean,
Nicolas
anytime-
Cage's Ghost Rider, or
sadly no.
okay. That would be the
but the-
one
but-
celebrity they could get to reprise their character role. That'd be really.
But the
exciting.
version of Blade that's in there looks a lot like the Wesley Snipes.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
total Wesley Snipes
that'd
Blade.
be, oh dude, that would be the way to get me excited for that, right? Is to get like all the old kind of
Get-
crummy versions of those characters.
Get Toby
Willem Dafoe,
Maguire.
Green Goblin.
Yeah, right.
Willem Dafoe Green Goblin sounds like he's in the next Spider-Man movie.
Oh, is it actually him?
Well,
Well,
there's
the
definitely
Doctor
a moment in
Octopus,
that-
right? In that
The
trailer
Doctor,
is the
Doctor
same.
Octopus is Alfred Molina, yeah.
Right.
But there's a moment where you see a pumpkin bomb like roll into the frame and you hear a laugh, and Willem Dafoe has a pretty distinct laugh, and I'm like, that
Is
sounds a lot like Willem Dafoe.
Well, I don't like these teeth zippers.
Yeah, this
I
is
think
kinda,
there is a
kinda-
warning up front of the game about the teeth stuff in this area, so
Huh. Can you turn them into something different?
I don't know.
You don't want to see teeth zippers?
Probably not.
They
I
become
would guess that-
I
marshmallows or
think they're
something?
just like, sorry.
Yeah.
FYI, sorry.
Yeah, well,
I don't
anyway,
know.
so I'm pretty bummed. I'm pretty bummed about this game because first of all, apparently it's going to be basically nothing like an XCOM game, right? It's like they started with something that was XCOM-ish, and as it went on, they're like, oh, you know what? This isn't what this game needs.
Right.
Like, and they kind of, I read an article that was talking in an interview with what's his face, who does the lead design on the game. I can't remember his name. I should know this, but
Jake, what's
Jake
his name?
Solomon.
Yeah.
Thank you. And he was saying like, well, in XCOM, it's usually your guys versus like more powerful enemies. So like you'll be focus firing with 3 of your characters to take down a big enemy. We wanted to invert that since you've already got superheroes on your team. So it's gonna be more like crowd control, I guess. Like trying to do moves with each character that will take out a bunch of enemies, things like that. And it's gonna have no permadeath, and it's gonna have RPG mechanics, and it's like, I don't know. It doesn't sound like any of the stuff that I enjoy in XCOM, really. Like, what I love in XCOM is building up my squad and trying to keep them alive, and like, I love that it really matters if I make a bad call and one of them gets killed, because then they're gone forever. So you can't do that with superheroes, obviously, but we kind of workshopped a version of that would have been cool, where it's like, well, you take like the 4 versions of whatever superhero that's gone through a bunch of different iterations, and you have the other ones on standby. So like, oops, I got Captain America killed, so here comes the Bucky version to kind of step in for him.
The Sam version, the Bucky version, the U.S. Agent version.
Anyway, so I'm kind of bummed because I don't think I'm very interested in this game, especially because it's going to be.
What the fuck did I just witness?
A couple of Teamster Tooth Fairies.
Okay, yeah, obviously.
Duh.
But they're just like teeth with wings. Anyways, listen. When Double Flying is really humming, they do some stuff that you could not. There's nobody else that would make like things like that. I don't know. Anyways, sorry, I'm sorry I interrupted you, Mike, but
I mean, some things merit interruption. Anyway, so I'm just bummed because I don't think I'm gonna play this game. It looks like it's very story heavy, and in my mind, like the story stuff in the XCOM games has been pretty weak.
Yeah.
Like I love XCOM 2, but I don't love the story in it very much. So unless they have like good writers coming in from Marvel, then meh. And the mechanics, well, maybe I'm sure they'll be interesting. I can't imagine them putting out a game that doesn't have good mechanics, but it doesn't sound like what I want. And while they're doing this, they're not making XCOM 3. And I don't know how I gotten into my head that that they were not making XCOM 3, because I guess I just figured that game was so successful that they must be working on a sequel to it.
Yeah.
But apparently not right now. So yeah,
XCOM 3, which would actually be like XCOM 5,
6
right?
or something, right?
Yeah,
There were 3 old ones and then 2.5 new ones.
So, how long has it? It's been quite a few years, right, since the last XCOM expansion
XCOM 2?
came out.
I mean, XCOM 2 is like a 2016, and then I think War of the Chosen might have been 2018, cementing it further as like
I guess it hasn't been that long.
2018 or no 2017. What year? The same year that Breath of the Wild came out. Anyway, it's been
17.
at this
That's
point a
4
couple years.
That's 4 years then.
And that's since an expansion, right? Since the actual game came out, it's been even longer. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. That's just me.
That's
Just
fine.
me,
I am.
It was released in 2017, apparently.
I am not as interested in that as I would be in XCOM 3, but because it's by those people, I'm interested.
I'm sure I'll come around. I'm sure I'll come around a bit once I start to see the game.
Yeah.
Because I expect it'll be at least kind of interesting. But I'm just afraid that the big draw is going to be the license and the characters, and I don't know, man.
Well, the thing that I think is interesting is I think a lot of the big team up games that are Marvel related, like developers, when they focus on one hero, they usually can get it right. Like Spider-Man, I think the Incognito Spider-Man games feel really good. The traversal feels really good. It feels like Spider-Man. But when they do a team up game like Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, which was a Team Ninja joint, I was just like, this is super like button mashy, and not even really button mashy, but just like very repetitive, changing heroes. Like some of them have unique abilities, but a lot of it feels, it's like this guy is a ranged guy and this guy is a close guy, and that's
right. You talking about the
guys.
Ultimate Alliance games?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I think your Axis might be the people to do something interesting.
Right,
with
when you
that.
look at the suite of powers that you get in the XCOM 2, especially with the War of the Chosen expansion, like they do really interesting creative stuff within like that tactical turn-based space. So I feel like that's the thing that I am least worried about, is them being able to differentiate the characters and their powers and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what makes me want to check it out, even though that style of game isn't usually something I go in for.
What
But
I'm
I think
what I'm more worried about is that it just like without the the best thing, like Mike was talking about, the best thing about XCOM is like building your team and leveling them up and sort of creating your story as you go. And so
I mean, that feels like it could definitely be a thing in this game if they have a good selection of heroes, and if they have the trailer they showed has no gameplay.
Yeah, it would be more focused on unlocking new heroes to add to your team, probably more than leveling up the heroes that you have, I would guess. I don't know.
Maybe there'll be like equipment or something that you can get for your characters. I'm not sure how they'll do it. It's a tough thing because like even the most recent XCOM game I wasn't a huge fan of because it had all these kind of pre-generated characters that couldn't die.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I didn't have the same attachment to them. There's something about building the characters up yourself that I find really interesting.
Well, plus the
XCOM was the
writing,
most
there was like a little short
Chimera Squad.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Squad-based one, which felt like it very much felt like a
prototype for the next game.
Right. Which actually makes me wonder if it's more of a prototype for this Marvel game rather than a new XCOM game. Yeah.
Anyway, and I'm complaining, but I wouldn't be happy if they just put out a third game that was exactly the same as the last two either, so they got to do something different. I'm just not very excited about Marvel anymore. Like, I enjoyed the Marvel movies for the decade plus that they were going on as just kind of light popcorn fare, but when they wrapped that whole story up with, the Avengers Endgame and whatever the last one was called, Infinity War Endgame,
Infinity War,
that really felt like it put a bow on the whole thing to me, and now I'm having a really hard time getting excited about the most generic looking Wolverine I've ever seen in my life. Anyway, I'll stop complaining about that.
That's
Maybe
fine.
something cool to announce also. Maybe.
So the thing that I thought that was cool was there is a new trailer for the the Tribute Games.mu Ninja Turtles beat 'em up that's coming out, and finally, after all these years, you can finally play as April.
Oh, okay.
Beat people up with microphones and camera equipment, apparently.
Okay. Well, why not?
So, which I think is neat. I mean, the most tiresome thing in the world is that every single Ninja Turtles game involves it depends. The order flip flops, but it's either Splinter gets kidnapped and you have to save him, and then while you're saving him, April gets kidnapped, and so then you have to save her, or the opposite. April gets kidnapped, and while you're saving her, Splinter gets kidnapped, and then you have to go save him. And so I'm hoping that now the next thing will be that Splinter's in the game, and so we can just ditch the whole lame ass kidnapping plots of these Ninja Turtles games. But the game looks really good. I really like the art style. It's sort of this, modern take. It doesn't look like any of the recent cartoons directly. It's like a modern version of the 80s cartoon, basically, is sort of what the art style is going for.
Kind of. I mean, I don't think it looks like the 80s cartoon really. I think it looks pretty sharp.
Like the designs of the turtles, right? Like they have some distinguishing flair in more recent version. Like the current cartoon or the most recent cartoon, they all look like they do in the Michael Bay movies, which is like totally different than how they used to look. And even the one, the cartoon before that was on Nickelodeon, they had the way their gear, like they had bandages on their hand, like wrist tape and shit on their hands and stuff. And there's no sign of that. Like they're very sort of stripped down and look a lot more like the 80s versions of the characters, but a little different.
It looks really good, and I appreciated that they gave the personalities to them. The four turtles are not just palette swaps.
Yeah.
Like they have different animations depending on the character.
Yeah, I kind of forgot that was the thing until the new trailer came out today, and then I was like, "Oh, that's right."
I feel like the best thing for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is to be in a beat 'em up, as far as turtles in video games.
Oh, absolutely.
It's worked out pretty well in the past, so.
Yeah, I mean, there's not anybody who would even argue that is. I mean, I can't even think of what I mean, I guess the Super NES version of Tournament Fighters is like a pretty solid fighting game, I guess. The other two less so. But I can't think of any other Turtles games besides that where I'm like, yeah, man, this is, I would rather have the Turtles do X than being a beat 'em up. Works out really well for them. So that's about all I've seen come out of Gamescom today. I've been mostly off of Twitter and stuff today.
Is there a list somewhere?
Oh, let's see. Everything announced at Gamescom.
That was all that was
Yes.
in this room.
Let's see here.
I mean, I
Halo
guess we
Infinite
just
got a
had
release
E3,
date.
right? So
Halo Infinite, December 8th. Horizon Forbidden West has been delayed to February of 2022. Saints Row is getting a reboot. Marvel's Midnight Suns is a new Avengers Tactics game. It's being described as a tactics RPG. So
what is that?
that's the Marvel, the
That's
Fear
the
Axis Marvel.
For
Okay.
Access game.
I mean, I like those kinds of games. So
Yeah, and I mean, depending on which characters are in it, you might even have something close to a punching, teleporting ninja.
is Colossus in there?
He's
Love
not. He
him.
wasn't in the trailer, but you never know.
He's my
Captain
go-to.
America. In the 6-player X-Men
Yes. Yeah.
game. Oh!
Exactly. Yep. Just hit that button. Hit the what button over and over and over again.
Yep. Let's see, Captain Marvel, Captain America, Iron Man, Doctor Strange. We got Wolverine. We got Blade. We got Ghost Rider. And I mean, I'm sure they're not showing everyone. I actually don't know who that person is immediately. That person is not immediately recognizable to me.
Well, now I want to say one person, but of course, we're not.
She kind of looks like Negasonic Teenage Warhead in some versions of that character, but her powers do not
sorry?
appear to line up with that character. Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Oh,
So-
yeah, obviously. Sorry.
So my understanding is that Negasonic Teenage Warhead in the movie does not have the same powers as Negasonic Teenage Warhead in the comics.
That's true, but this person has the powers of neither of those characters. So, and the big bad is someone who looks recognizable vaguely, but I'm not sure who it's supposed to be either. But maybe there's someone that's just done a rundown of here's the people. Okay, here we go. I think the woman I was looking at is the Gloom.
Oh, right. I don't know who that is.
The trailer showed off the characters resurrecting the Hunter, who they need to help fight their mother, Lilith, Mother of Demons. So that must be the big bad, is Lilith. So I haven't read Marvel comics regularly in 20 some years, so that's probably why I don't
So you're
recognize
fine.
most of those people. Hideo Kojima gave an extended look at Death Stranding Director's Cut. Boy, I gotta tell you, what I really don't need is more of Death Stranding, because a little bit of Death Stranding went a long way for me.
I kind of liked that game. I don't know.
Add another 20 hours?
I mean, I played a little tiny bit of it, so.
In a
The
certain
game-
sense, I'm actually kind of curious because imagine the stuff that Kojima cuts out of a game, right?
Right.
That's
I-
got to be the absolute most self-indulgent.
I believe he
Nonsense.
said that none of this is stuff that was cut per se.
Okay.
So let's see here. The upgraded game will feature new items that increase Sam's mobility. Well, that would help. Thrusters allow Sam to make gigantic leaps off of cliffs. A cannon can launch cargo over long distances,
Right?
and a buddy bot can carry more cargo. Now I am more interested in this game because if I can just put cargo in a cannon and fucking fire it over a mountain, that seems like it would be fun. The game also adds action-packed delivery missions that involve sneaking around a facility, Metal Gear Solid style. It's looking like a significant update that speeds up the original game's slow pace and adds some wacky new mechanics. The game is scheduled to launch on September 24th for PlayStation 5. Does it have more Conan O'Brien? Can I get more Conan in this one? That's what I really want. And also more Die Hardman. Can I get some more Die Hardman?
6 minutes more.
Yeah. Call of
Whatever the
Duty
number is.
Vanguard has been. We saw footage, I guess.
Great.
I could
Shocking.
could not care.
Seems
less.
Shocking that
seems
there's
like
more
the
Call of
only
Duty.
thing Activision makes now is Call of Duty games, and pretty soon Blizzard is also going to be making Call of Duty because
Didn't we-
Activision is going to absorb them.
Weren't we
Apparently,
talking
somebody was.
about-
I can't remember. I don't know if it
It
was.
was during Mike's stream on Monday. I thought we talked about this.
Well,
like
no,
every
no.
studio
Yeah, yeah.
is working on a Call of Duty.
The convergence.
Yeah.
But apparently, like, I can't remember if it was Bombcast or Waypoint, but something I was listening to was they were talking about how now there's like some evidence that Blizzard has been like burning a bunch of documents and stuff.
Shredding
Yeah.
documents.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
So-
That's
There's
pretty
no
awesome.
bottom. There's a new bottom like every week
Great.
with the
Yeah.
Blizzard stuff, Blizzard Activision stuff. It's crazy that they keep making those because I just looked at like the best-selling games for July, and
Was it last year's Call of Duty?
it was like 2 years ago's Call of Duty.
Oh yeah.
Let me see. I'm pulling it back up now because I looked at it earlier today. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, which I think was that's the newish one. Oh, Call of Duty the Modern Warfare remake from 2019 was in the top 10 best-selling games for July.
Modern warfare.
Yeah, Moderner Warfare.
Wild.
Yeah. Also, Mario Kart 8, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. I guess that makes sense. But Mario Kart 8.
No, it doesn't. 'Cause that game's
Minecraft.
not good.
Oh yeah, it was not. You're right. That's true. But Smash Brothers Ultimate, Mario Kart 8, and Minecraft and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 are all still in
Is
the
it
top 10.
2014 or is it?
Yes. And also 2016, and also
2009. 2009 all over again. Mario Kart
2000,
and
2008, right? Was
Call of Duty Modern
4.
Warfare. Yes, 2008 was Call of Duty. Modern Warfare 2 was 09 or 10. Whatever. Yep. Let's see here. Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga finally reappears. After being indefinitely delayed earlier this year, we got a new look at Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. I can't believe they still... I mean, I can believe they still make those games, but boy, if you'd have told me in 2005 or whatever, 2007, that like, hey, they're going to keep making more Lego Star Wars games for the next
it's
15
swinging back.
years. I would be like,
Yeah,
no.
Pretty wild.
Dead Mouse presents Oberhalsey. Electronic music artist and producer Dead Mouse is getting into video games with Oberhalsey. The ambitious project is described as a virtual world where fans of the artist's music can gather. Okay.
Wow, that sounds really early internet age.
Yeah, that sounds like
We made a
Second
virtual
Life.
world where you can sit around and listen to Dead Mouse, and you can get an avatar that looks like a Dead Mouse mask, or maybe there's some other symbol you can get. But everyone wants the Dead Mouse mask.
Valheim Hearth and Home is the first update for that game.
Okay.
The update will be released on September 16th, but no firm details of what's in it were revealed. So, there you go. Let's see here.
Play some more Valheim at some
Will it
point.
have hearths and or homes?
Yeah, I'm sure. Cult of the Lamb is a cute and dark new indie from Devolver Digital starring a lamb.
But it's dark.
But what happens to the lamb? Oh god, I don't want to know.
It's a dark lamb.
Dark Lamb. A new trailer debuted for indie title Midnight Fight Express, which is being made by one person. April O'Neil will join Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Morgana from Persona 5 is going to be trapped in a little ball with the Monkey Ball monkeys for Monkey Ball Banana Mania.
Alright. Okay, I guess not much then, really.
I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff on here. I'm trying to look for anything anyone might care, any one of us might care about. There's a new Outlast game coming in 2022. Far Cry 6.
Did I pull that tooth and some stuff fell out? And then...
Can I just say that Psychonauts makes a really weird first impression?
You can say that.
Why would you say that?
Level 1, have some body horror.
Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt. Which one is that? I can't remember which one that is.
Is that one of those, like, they put out
That's-
some
that's like
weird
the-
visual novel things last
No.
year?
That's the ripoff of Aliens because it's a blood hunt instead of a bug hunt.
I was gonna say though, actually, I think it is like a squad based, like a Left 4 Dead ish.
Based on Vampire the
Thing.
Masquerade. Okay, I think I
Based
remember
on
that from
Vampire the
E3,
Masquerade.
actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Let me double check myself.
There's a little chaos on every
Or you double wreck
mission
yourself.
Yeah,
route.
right.
A psychonaut must always remember
Well, because
to
Bloodlines
roll
2 is still in
You
development,
remember how
right?
to gather
That's
your
Is it?
and roll with
I mean, they like ripped that.
They kind of
team
rebooted
apart,
that, didn't they?
and, yeah, I don't know how much of that is. Like all the,
Uh,
yeah, they like took the whole team off of it, and
They weren't going so hot.
Let's see. Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt is a
So I think you need
third-person
another
battle royale game.
Grade to traverse those little white glowy things.
okay,
I couldn't figure out any way to deal with them.
okay. It's not
A
ball.
new trailer at Gamescom reveals the sexy, seductive Triador clan.
Okay.
That's the clan in the tabletop game where like all of your powers involve like seducing a person before you kill
Well,
them.
I'll never get that other tag then, probably, because I'm almost certainly not going to go back.
Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt is an upcoming battle royale set in White Wolf's goth punk
Great.
world of darkness that pits the kindred, that is, vampires, of various stripes against one another in desperate fights for survival using guns, blades, and supernatural powers.
Sure.
Okay.
They're still making battle royale games?
Evidently.
Feels like we're 18 months too late for that.
Kids
I mean,
still play Fortnite.
I was gonna say, isn't one of the most popular games in the
Yeah,
world
but
still?
I think
a
people
royale game?
there's already like the three of those that are going to exist already
Right.
exist.
Right.
You know.
Well, I don't know how
Springs
much.
Eternal, I guess.
I don't know how much that vampire one is going to be when it goes into early access in Steam in like 2 weeks. But if it's cheap, that's a thing that I would.
If it's
check
anything,
out.
if it's anything more than free, then they're charging too much.
Maybe, yeah.
Not that not that I think the game is necessarily going to be bad or anything, but like
Yeah, there's only so much oxygen.
Apex and Fortnite are free, right?
Right. Oh,
And
that's- I was
PUBG
forgetting
was
And you
the
already
OG,
own PUBG.
right? So
Marvel Future
and also
Revolution.
like the PUBG mobile app is free, also I'm pretty sure. So
Right.
um,
Probably right.
Marvel Future Revolution, a mobile action RPG, lands on the App Store and Google Play Store today.
okay,
Wow.
Duly noted.
yeah, I don't the comic book stuff.
There's a-
superhero
but-
stuff
but-
just doesn't appeal to me in general. So
But Eric, how excited are you for a new Jumanji game for Switch? Fall Guys
Oh,
Ultimate
did you guys-
Knockouts.
did you
Next
guys see
Jungle
that they
themed in-game event.
put out an update for that game that is now like the squad stuff is actually like you are in a squad competing against other squads, and there's like you get
They don't get randomly
accumulative-
assigned to opposite teams?
No, you're like in a cumulative, you like earn points. So like in survival modes and stuff, like the longer all four of you are in, the more points you earn. But like one
Okay.
person can like hard carry and pull your squad in. So it's actually like a squad of 4 versus like
Really?
20 other squads of 4 or
Huh.
something like that.
I would try that again. if
I was
people-
gonna say I would try that game again.
That's way more interesting to me than the way that it was before.
Yeah.
It was just like you were just like a bunch of individuals.
Yep.
Except when you weren't in the random games where you weren't. And
Right.
if the other two teams decided to gang up on you and fuck you over, you were just fucked.
There's also like a ton of new stuff in there, although it's still
Yeah.
it's still that game, which is
Right.
unfortunate.
I was gonna say we played some of it after the winter update, right? And they added some new games, and we were like, these are fine, but they're just like more.
Right. It's still just
That
a
was like
weirdly controlled.
I haven't actually used most of. I haven't tried most of the new games.
that
I'm sure
was
they're
the
not-
thing of the moment for
They
a
were
moment.
actually better. Like the new ones were like more consistently quality.
Fun.
I
Yeah.
thought, than the
Yeah, I
other
suppose
ones.
that I mean, I hope that game made Devolver a shitload of money that they can use to publish, more
Yeah.
interesting things. Now,
I don't. I mean, I had a good time with that game, but it's just there's just something. The controls are like in this weird in between space where they're not precise enough to be good, but they're not like wacky
not bad
enough to be fun. So it's just like kind of annoying to control sometimes. I don't know.
yeah.
I was okay with the controls. I mostly just hated the way that it would occasionally stick you on opposite teams for the shitty team games.
Yeah.
Well, and also some of the games, some of the stages, I just fucking hated.
We're not
like
fun.
there were a couple where it was just like, this is not fun at all.
Mhm.
Was mostly. I mean, the traversal stuff was the stuff that was the most fun.
Yes, yeah, the ones where it felt like
MX.
Sketchy.
American gladiators on like little bean people.
Yeah.
That was the most fun for sure. But yeah, mysterious woman, angry scream.
Angry woman, mysterious scream.
Woman scream, angry, mysterious.
Nice.
So man, No More Heroes 3 really crept up on me. I totally
Came out
forgot that was
a
coming
couple
out.
of weeks ago, right?
Oh, it comes out like tomorrow or
Oh.
Friday. But I was just like,
Poor thing.
oh yeah, that's happening. Oh wow, that's happening like very, very soon.
I saw him. I couldn't tell who he was.
So
And I saw.
Yeah, I don't know. The second one of those was so awful.
there's parts of the second one that I like more than the first one. The first one is the best one, I think, but the second one sort of smoothed out some of the things I didn't like about the first one.
Man, there was some stuff in the second one that was just that motorcycle fight. One of the worst
Motorcycle fight
things
was
that I've
pretty
ever
bad.
played in a video game.
Motorcycle
Also,
fight
just
was
there was
really
this.
bad.
It's just we've had this. We've been over this a million times, but it's just there's a certain point where it's like instead of being kind of like a fun spoof of the things, it's just like actually it's just like the shitty thing that they're making fun of, and I don't have time for it anymore.
Killer is Dead was so much of that I like stuff. Like I have the collector's edition of Killer is Dead, and I played like 3 hours of it because in between stages you have to like ogle women in this really
Right.
uncomfortable
Yeah,
way.
exactly.
And it's like it's supposed to be a satire of something,
But
and I'm
it's
like,
not.
I'm not
It's-
picking up on.
You're just doing
that.
the objectification thing. You're not actually making fun of it because you do it all the time. You know, it's not. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what? I thought Killer 7 was really clever, and
Yeah,
that's the
Killer 7 is really good.
51 game that I like. And
I need to play the.
Hard
I need to
pass.
play the sequel DLC he wrote for the new Fire Pro game. That is this a follow up to the story mode he wrote for like one of the Super Famicom
Yeah.
Fire Pro games.
I think it was really great that he took the joke about jerking off the Wii remote and just made that a game mechanic and then put that in a game that was popular. I thought that was really good also.
Yeah.
That was a great
Yeah.
great joke, but
Yeah,
I don't-
absolutely.
that
Absolutely agree
squirrel's
on that
tail
front.
looks freaking wild.
Like Van Gogh drew that thing.
Yeah. The art in this game is very good. I think I'm in to just play this. I think this is, as long as the art and the writing are sharp as it was in the original
Yeah.
Psychonauts. I just like it's exactly the same game. I feel like it probably plays a little bit better, but there's just something about playing a game like this in 2021 that seems weird to me. But
I mean, but that's part of what's great about playing video games in 2021, right?
Yeah.
Is that like shit like this still exists? Because there was a whole generation, at least, where like nobody was doing this. You
it was
know,
more
Yep.
than that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Shit.
more than that. It made me very
We
sad.
transitioned away from it at the beginning of the 360
PS3,
era, and then
360,
pretty much,
yeah.
the whole back half of that and all the PS4, Xbox One era was all.
Impossible. A mole in the
There was
Psychonauts?
like, I don't know, what was the? I don't. Did you guys ever play Snake Pass?
Maybe like a tiny bit. It was on Game Pass at some point.
Yeah, that game is really cool.
Can someone help me with my dad?
Um,
He's still acting funny.
Truman.
Did you catch the delusionals joke?
Let's get him
no,
inside
it
so he can lie
says
down.
I'm dropping frames.
So the mysterious woman is an ancient psychic or a dead psychic named Maligula. The mysterious woman, she's
Does
Maligula.
anyone else
Maligula.
know
Yeah,
this?
she
Who are you?
has some amount of control over water,
Rasputin?
and so there is
I'm,
a group of
I know a psychonaut.
devotees who are trying to
How's that?
resurrect her, and
Before
they're
COVID,
known as
he gave me a bath.
delusionists.
Okay.
Mm.
They want to have a deluge.
Yeah, exactly. It was like
Agent
nice.
Fuller is a hero, but he's not on
I get it.
100%. He can hand out all the merit badges he wants, but he doesn't have the authority to commission Psychonauts.
But you can, right?
I think the fuller realization of this art style makes it look like
True Psychic Tales 146.
oh, who makes those movies? People would say Tim Burton, but it's not actually Tim Burton.
Henry Selick.
If the other agents
Yes.
vouch for
Oh
me,
yeah,
I
yeah,
might be
yeah.
able to
Yes.
get you a spot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find this art
Or-
more appealing
like
than
In the
that.
intern program.
But
Yeah,
it's,
Leica
yeah,
Studios.
it's very similar, or like
I hear
Coraline,
coordinators are real
or
brain busters.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes. Exactly.
Welcome to the Mother Lobe.
yeah. You're talking about Nightmare Before Christmas.
Right.
Yeah.
And Corpse Bride and Coraline and
Yeah.
so on.
Well, Coraline was based on a Neil Gaiman.
Neil
Yeah,
Gaiman book.
Yeah.
yeah.
I really Coraline was of those. That was definitely the one I liked the most.
What was the one? There was one that Bryce really liked. That was about like a bug samurai or something.
Well,
I don't know.
there's.
It was
I
like
think-
Fantastic Mr. Fox is kind of in that same. That movie's quite good. I don't.
That movie's
That's an art
really
style
good.
that I like. I like any kind of stop motion animation. So
Me too. Yeah.
Wallace and Gromit videos.
Wallace and
Yeah.
I
Gromit
love
was
all
the
the
best.
drama. Yeah. Kubo and the Two
I don't.
Strings.
Did you
I
guys?
was about to say it was Kubo.
Oh
He's
yeah.
not the main character, but there is a bug samurai in that movie.
Did you guys see that
Is it
they
okay if I go up into the main headquarters now?
anytime? Yeah, I live.
I'm sorry,
The
little
Double
boy,
Fine
but those
asymmetrical
aren't any
eyes
school
is really
toys.
good. Also,
What?
um,
I'm an intern.
so the Nintendo Online thing added Clay Maniacs or no Claymates. Claymates.
Clay
Fighter?
Claymate.
No,
No,
Claymates
Claymates.
is like a claymation platformer for the Super
Platforming
Nintendo,
game,
and
yeah.
they also added Jelly Boy,
Yep.
and they also added Bamboozle, which is like a weird, just like three games.
Bomboozle.
Bomboozle, sorry, Bomboozle. Yeah,
Known here as Kablooey.
yeah, it's just like it's just like the weirdest stuff gets added to the Super Nintendo Online thing.
I think it's fascinating. People every time from now until they add it, people will bitch every time they add new games without adding Earthbound.
Yeah.
That's just what happens now. But I don't
Earthbound
know.
fits into that library now, right? It's like just like the
Right.
weirdest stuff from this, like all
Yeah, I
three of
mean-
those games are like not, they're like fine, but they're weird enough to be interesting, and like
Right.
I feel like that whole library is like that. Like there's not a lot of. There's not a lot of like really bad, like there's no like Bubsy's not in there or whatever, but there's like a lot of mediocre but weird platformers and other weird stuff that's in there. It's a really weird library.
Yeah, every time they release weird stuff, people complain about that it is weird stuff, and that where's this thing and where's this thing and where's this thing, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, but that stuff is all more interesting
Yeah, I mean,
to me. Like,
some of it is just like this is the stuff they can get for cheap. But
Right,
somebody is not just picking the cheapest stuff; they are picking cheap stuff that is weird and interesting in some way. So I don't know. I approve of that library, even though it's like Joe and Back 1 and 2 are in there.
those games are pretty good though.
Yeah,
right?
they're
I mean, those-
okay. They're fine. It's just I don't.
You got to find out what happens after the ending of the first game, you know?
Right, yeah.
You don't want to.
Well,
you
so
want
the
a
cool.
cliffhanger.
So Joe and Mac 2 has 2-player co-op.
So does Drone Mac 1.
I was gonna say the first
Does
game
it?
doesn't.
I'm not sure about that.
Fingerprint. That's good.
I think 2 might have like like swap co-op like Super Mario Brothers.
I can't believe
But I think
really
I'm pretty sure
here.
2 is. I don't know. You have maybe check. I'm not sure, but I think
I'm checking. Joe and Mac Super NES co-op Part 1 playthrough long play.
okay.
So let's see here. Yeah, there's definitely.
Okay.
it's
All right.
definitely
Well, that's good.
two players co-op. So. Player 1 is Joe, and player 2 is Mac.
Scanning for fingerprint.
Doesn't
Agent.
Hello, stranger.
Yep.
Doesn't that helmet get in the way of your mental waves?
I'm sorry, Mr. Nono. He's with the medical team right now. And they
Can I do anything to help, Lily?
Yeah, keep me from killing Jared here. I know too many of his weak points.
Why won't they let you upstairs?
I don't know.
Awfully quiet.
Psychic sanitation or something?
They're giving me some.
I'm sure
dialogue,
they'll let
so-
up soon. I'm sure your dad's going to be okay. Why
I'm
won't they
sure
let you
your dad's going
upstairs?
to be okay.
Raz, I don't know. He just feels all wrong.
What was the last thing
Worried
Double
about
Fine
my
actually
really
released
woman when
before
the bomb
this?
is ruined
Well,
and
it was
some
that
damage.
VR thing, right? And then
Was it the VR thing?
I think so. And then before that was something. I can't remember. Well, didn't they do a second? They did a second costume quest, right?
That's not recent, is
Yes.
it?
I would say they did, but that was a while ago.
Was it?
Yes.
I don't. They haven't done much since they did the funding campaign for this. I don't think.
I guess they
right?
were working on this game for a long time, and then they got acquired, so they just kind of.
kept working on it. Yeah, because like when was Broken Age was like
That was
6
also a
or 7
long
years
time
ago,
ago.
right?
Let's see. I feel like they've done smaller games usually though in between the big stuff.
That was
Let's see.
back. That was back in the early 2010s.
Broken
when they
Age
were-
was 2015.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was part 2. Would have been 2015, right?
Oh, yeah,
'Cause-
part 2 is right.
Yeah,
anyways.
first part was 2014. Second part was 2015.
They did Rad in.
No, they did do
2019.
Rad,
Oh,
which was
Rad, yeah.
and they did Headlander.
Oh yeah, Headlander.
That's
right.
not. Even Headlander is not very recent, I don't think.
It's not.
So-
Rad was
so
one of the.
Rad was in 2019. In 2017, they did the remaster of Full Throttle for Disney and LucasArts.
I guess 2019 is
Yeah.
arguably recent.
Yeah.
2017, they released the Amnesia Fortnite collection, which they do that every year. I don't know if they always release it. But and Psychonauts and the Rhombus of Ruin was also 2017.
So yeah, I guess
20
Rad was the most recent.
2016 was Headlander and Day of the Tentacle remastered. 2015 was Massive Chalice
Oh, yeah,
and Grim
Massive
Fandango remastered. And 2014 was Space-Based DF9
Yeah.
Costume Quest 2 Hack and Slash and Broken Age.
So they've been putting.
I don't
out
think
some
Rad
stuff.
set the world on fire.
Yeah.
I remember thinking
I
it
played
looked
it some.
interesting and then not playing it.
It's all right. The little bit that I played of it. It was driven by
I tested out all that stuff.
what's his name, Lee Petty,
Yeah.
who's the art director there, and he did Headlander and Stacking. And so I picked it up because of that, because I like both those games.
Someday I should give Headlander a shot.
It's one of those things where those games would have been way more interesting like 11 years ago when there wasn't just a giant flood of stuff similar. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Mm.
there was a time where Double Fine kind of could put one of those out every year or so, and they kind of really stood out because there wasn't a lot of other weird stuff. But now there's just like an infinite ocean of weird stuff coming out constantly. So
There's itch.io now exists.
right. Well, not just that, but
Right.
just like check out Steam any day of the week, and there's probably some weird kind of interesting indie game coming.
They
from
also
some
they
studio.
published Knights and Bikes in 2019 as well, but
I
did
don't
not
know what
develop
that
it.
is.
I think it's based on a comic book.
Knights and Bikes is a cooperative action adventure game inspired by The Goonies and Secret of Mana. It was created by Foam Sword, a British indie development company made up of former Media Molecule staff.
I need to get up there right now so I can start Dad's psych herb therapy.
Interesting.
Hey, can we
It was a Kickstarter thing apparently, and then Double Fine
Nothing.
published it.
Are you sure there's nothing I can do to help?
Well, actually,
It hit Xbox One on November 5th, so it's probably on Game Pass.
Anything.
And they're publishing Samurai Gun 2 apparently.
Of course.
Seems kind of weird.
2 Samurai, 2 Gun.
that helps.
I mean, I like the first Samurai. So first Samurai Gun, I think playing it after Towerfall,
They
I
have-
didn't like it as much.
Is Dose 1 doing the soundtrack again?
But I don't know. It's a good question. You would
I
kinda
think so, actually.
Yeah, you kind of think so. Let's see if this Polygon article says.
Tired of folding sheets.
How many sheets do you have to fold, Kurt?
Well, you know, they brought me all of my stuff this weekend, and one of those things was a box full of linens. So, like, all my sheets and such have been, boxed up in a warehouse for 4 months. I was like, I should probably wash these.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, so
Probably
They
got
don't
like
all have to go
good
on your bed
little-
at the same
good
time, do
little
they?
musty smell.
they
going
don't,
on.
but then I gotta like have them. I gotta know which ones I did and which ones I didn't.
Right. See, the answer is to do what I do, which is only own one set of sheets, and then you just wash it every couple of weeks. You know.
The problem here is I have 2 different beds.
Yeah. A wet bed and
Man,
a
you
dry
like
bed.
you like
That's correct.
Or like an Austin Walker food bed.
I'm not sure which one of those I want to admit to having. Yeah. But my mom is
Yeah.
going to be here this weekend, and so she needs
Some sheets also.
clean sheets. Yep.
Legal. Wait, then the paper I've been using is illegal?
Oh no.
It's
I was talking to some of my coworkers,
What? 10?
and they were
Dude,
remarking on
you're making
seeing
me stupid.
the new blank wall behind me, because of course there's nothing up yet.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, do you have a view?" And I said, "Yeah, if you could see out this window here, you could see the pond next to my house and the ducks." And they said, "Are the ducks in a row?"
Uh-huh.
And I said, "Well, sometimes." And then I said, "Well, actually, all the time, because there are 2."
Right. So it's a
So it's always a row.
right. When you have 2 points, it's always a line.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
Second floor, past the
But
classroom.
there is a piece of wood in the pond,
Uh-huh.
like on one of the banks, and most mornings at some point in the morning, both ducks will be on the piece of wood. So they're like in the pond, but not quite in the pond because they're standing on the piece of wood.
they just look really tall.
Yeah, they're just like adjacent to the pond. Yeah, chilling, smoking cigarettes. It's pretty funny.
Drinking coffee.
Yeah. Morning, Ralph.
We got
Morning,
some-
Sam.
We got some really good loon action at the cottage last weekend.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, they came super close to the dock.
nice.
Did they make that awful noise all night long?
I like that noise.
Yeah, I say I don't mind that
So
noise.
if you're right next to a pond, say in a tent, and it's like 4 o'clock
For
in the
example.
morning, and they've been doing it for like 6 hours straight, it fucking sucks. Just as just I'm
Hypothetically
just yeah, hypothetically speaking, I'm not telling you how to feel about it. I'm just saying.
You might feel
Right,
different.
you've walked like 30 some miles over the course of the previous 2
You're
days.
bone
and-
tired.
right, maybe you just want to
Yeah.
get some sleep, and there's
You're
just like
like,
a
"Shut
loon
the
with its
fuck up,
goddamn
will you?"
beak in your fucking ear, screaming at you all night. It's not that much fun.
Well, I will say that in our case, they were helping
They have
drown out.
bills, not beaks, to be fair to the loon.
In our case, they were helping drown out the music from the rodeo across the lake. So
Like Eric is not interested in being part of the loon at this point.
That sounds like it.
Marion did see a heron in one of the other bodies of water that we drove past last weekend.
Great blue,
Cool.
green.
I'm not
Kinda-
sure. I
was
did
it-
not see it. She
Was it?
saw it.
Oh, if it's tall, it's probably a great blue. If it's in a pond, it's probably great blue. Usually green ones hang out more in like a tree line.
Yeah.
Herons are awesome. I love they're all over the place in the Iroquois Wildlife Refuge that's nearby, and they're just so much fun to watch.
A bowling alley?
Watching them eat is really something.
Doesn't look open.
They just pluck fish right out of the pond, right?
Yeah.
That's
Shouldn't you be in class?
Wow.
I feel like in my brain I confuse heron and cranes and what they look like.
I mean, they're kind of similar in that they're like spaghetti with a beak, but
Hey kid, you didn't take the toilet plunger, did ya?
it's the automatic.
Oh yeah, no, they look like they're a lot more stout than cranes, though. It seems like.
Yeah, they're bigger. Well, it depends on the heron.
Fair enough.
But like the most common ones on the East Coast are great blue herons.
Not that great.
They're pretty great. How dare you? Better than loons. The noise they make sounds like they've been smoking like 10 packs a day for. But at least they don't do it all night long.
You know, who did do it all night long and that we love is Lionel Richie. All right, so lay off.
Loons are. I mean, I don't know. My grandparents used to live up north, like way up north, like close to.
How did
UP.
Nort feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, he was okay with it. But you know, up there by the UP, and they lived on a lake, and they had loons.
Those watching the stream can't see it, but Joe's holding up his hand and pointing.
Yeah,
Right here.
Everybody knows where the UP is, eh?
Oh yeah. That's where the degens are from.
That's the UP is the part of Michigan that Wisconsin gave to Michigan so they would have like enough land or enough population to become a state. So it's the little part that is, you know, not part of Michigan but part of Michigan. That's the UP. And they lived on a lake, and there were loons in the lake, but the house was far enough away from the lake so that Eric's predicament was not really a thing. So you kind of always heard him in the distance.
When you hear, when they're at a distance, and it is kind of it's like a pleasant noise, but
In a distance, occasionally.
Yeah.
The way to enjoy loons.
And if you went fishing at night, you would hear them. Obviously, out on the lake, while you were trying to catch some walleye. Man, I haven't had like fried walleye in a minute, and fried walleye is just fucking delicious.
Use telekinesis to pet your furry forest friends. That ram does not seem to be really enjoying it. But,
It doesn't. I don't know.
what's going on?
It's not enjoying it. It's just sort of like a.
Didn't think the day was gonna go this way.
I thought there was going to be a tin can, but it's just a bet.
All right. Well, anyways,
Goonade.
is there anything else anybody been playing we want to talk about here, or should we wrap this up?
Yeah, wrap this up. I would like to say I did just get an alert on my phone that told me that the Baltimore Orioles managed to not lose 20 games in a row tonight. So.
Congratulations!
Oh, congratulations to the Orioles.
Joe, did you meet Herlock Sholmes yet?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I haven't had a chance to play more. So I want to play more, but I have not had.
I tried to start that the other night, and then I was too tired to go any further.
Yeah.
Last weekend was a wrestling weekend, and I didn't have a lot of time to play video games because there was so much wrestling.
I forgot and was late to watch wrestling with you because I was playing that game. But, it's a little slow, but when that game is really humming, it's really something.
Some people on a Discord I'm on are playing it, and they played 1 and 2 back to back because like they kind of are the same story, and we're saying that like the cases get really long in the back half.
I'm on the third case of the second one now, so I don't know for sure, but I believe it. I mean, that's kind of how, like, the first game is actually pretty short. Especially compared to how the other Phoenix Wright games kind of go. Like, it's pretty clear that they're meant to be, like, paired together or whatever.
Yeah, the weakness of some of those games is that they kind of overstay. Some of the cases overstay their welcome.
Yeah.
And it's some of them are really good and you don't want them to end, and some of them, like the fucking circus case in 2, you're just like, why is this still happening? Why can't this be over now? But Eric, did you go back and watch the CM Punk debut?
I
yet?
did. I need to find some way to get so I can watch at least one of the 2 AEW shows on a regular basis.
Yeah, I mean, they're both on TNT, so if you
Yeah,
find a way to
but
watch
there's no
them.
way to. I can't just give somebody like $5 a month to get TNT, right?
Yeah,
It's
right,
like you have to buy a bigger package of stuff I don't want
right.
necessarily. So I don't know what the answer is, but it was really. I mean, it's really good. I don't know. CM Punk's great.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm glad that he's back, and it seems like the time off has kind of recharged his batteries a little bit, and he seems excited to be there,
Yeah.
which is great. A lot better than boiled hot dog samurai Brock Lesnar, that's for sure. Right?
Yeah, right. Or bringing Becky Lynch back so that 30 seconds later she can just kill Bianca Belair's momentum instantaneously.
Bummer. Anyways, all right.
Maybe we're done here.
Yeah, I think we're good. This game seems pretty cool. I want to play some more of this. It's definitely the things that I like about
slightly ahead of where I
Psychonauts.
was, and I was enjoying it so far.
Yeah, the things that I like about Psychonauts seem present and accounted for, and it seems like it plays enough better that it's not going to be an issue. So,
yeah.
Oh, you look just
Well,
like my
you do
dad.
you, Eric. You play them Psychonauts.
But that's it for tonight. Thanks for hanging out.
You play that thing on the radio.
Bye.
Night, everybody.